All right, everybody. This is for everybody in our mastermind, for the CPA mastermind, and we know we get a ton of questions. A lot of them are asked over and over and over. We want to just clarify everything, streamline the whole process. We're going to have all the content that you need to be successful in CPA, to start making the money that you deserve. But we're going to start having it in the website. We're not going to have a lot of the chit chat back and forth in Skype because it doesn't seem like we're getting anywhere with that. I'm here to help. Joe's here to help. You know we're dedicated to your success. We want to stop the part where it's not getting you success, though. I want to see, you guys doing the lessons Joe has for you. We're going to give you some lessons that are here in your first months of training. Remember, each and every one of you, the very longest you've been in is about, what, help me out, Joe, 10 days at the most?
Yeah, about that.
Yeah, okay.
8, 9, 10, about 10, 11 days.
Okay, and most of you less than that. So many of you are wanting the entire shoot match of a $2,000 or $3,000 course all in 30 days. Even if you purchased a $2,000 or $3,000 course, which I have on CPA marketing, there's no way you could learn it and then implement it in the first 30 days. We know that, and you know that. Let's tell each other the truth. Just being honest, okay? So Joe's giving you some lessons that you need to do, some lessons that need to be completed in order, in sequence, for your first month's training, all right? The first months of workshops. This is ongoing. CPA keeps changing what he's teaching you, the lessons that he's giving you now. Hopefully I'm not overstepping, Joe. You can tell me if I am. What he's teaching you here 6 months from now will be totally different because the CPA game, for lack of better words, changes that drastically. Am I saying it like I need to say it, Joe?
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, it constantly changes. I spent $2,000 for the CPA Tsunami 3 years ago from Mike Hill. You can go look it up, see it for yourself. And it's totally irrelevant now. It's a big, pretty box that sits up on my shelf over here with a bunch of pretty DVDs. Am I making any money with it? No. I created a little product. I sold, made a little bit of money, but that's beside the point. It didn't make me the CPA money because that information is no longer relevant. Okay? I bought the Magic Bullet for Amish Shaw. You can look it up. It was a $3,000 course. I paid $1,500 for it just to keep me from canceling. I paid them $1,500, and they made a sweetheart deal for me. Okay, that information was garbage. Okay, the blogs that were supposedly set up to help you make money didn't work. They took millions of dollars from people. So bear in mind, that this is the first month of your training. This will keep changing. You will need to be a member of our organization at least 2 or 3 months before you start making any sizable money. Some of you guys thinking you're going to make $1,000 a week your first week. That's not realistic. So just being real, I've got a bunch of questions. I want to get right into that. Sorry if I went too far with that, but I'm just telling it like it is, and I want everybody to understand this. Rick Caldwell saying, one of the questions he has, how to stay organized, how often to check campaigns.
Okay, what was that? Hold on. Just it's okay.
Hey, we're keeping it real here. This ain't pretty, folks.
Okay, go ahead. I'm online then. Okay, yeah, ask me a question again, Rick.
Rick Caldwell asks how to stay organized, how often to check campaigns.
Okay, how to stay organized. It's difficult to stay organized if you don't actually do the work itself. Okay, you have to do the work. All right, and that's very difficult. Rick, hold on just a second here.
It's all right. Take your time.
All right, yeah, because we'll be editing this, I'm sure. Larry Rose, shut that. Shut the door. Shut, no, with you both. Okay, go ahead. I can't.
No big deal.
That's real, all right.
That ain't no big deal.
Yeah.
All right. I mean, so they need to actually do the first few lessons in order.
Yeah. Right. Okay. Go ahead. Great. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. There you go. Take a look. All right. Sit there. Thank you very much. All right. Here. There you go. Thank you, baby. All right. Good girl. I'm jealous. Okay. All right. Give me the first question again.
Okay. How to stay organized, how often to check campaigns from Rick Caldwell.
Okay. A lot of times it's difficult to stay organized if you don't actually set up a systemized system that you can actually do the first thing, the second thing, the third thing, the fourth thing. If you deviate from that, what's going to end up happening is you're not going to be organized at all. Organization, to me, as I always indicate, it's action, consistency, and organization. There's a lot to organization. You have to first get the product that you're going to do. I should say the project. Start with your project, and then work your way from there. Okay, and that's what I've been doing, is providing the information that you need from the beginning. Okay, and working you through it step by step, because there's so many questions that are going to be answered. But what you need to do, when I say get 10 email addresses, all right, you need to write it down right away. You need to put it in maybe like a Word document. And then after you get it all set up in your Word document, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, you need to go ahead and print that Word document. Once you print it, it needs to be in front of you, so you can use it as a checklist, what you need to do, working towards the completion of that particular project. And what was the second question?
All right, good answer. So, and one other thing to add to what he just said was that the questions that y'all have that are relevant, that are part of your journey, the part of your steps, we will have videos answering your questions. That way we don't have to answer the same exact question every single day to 10 different people. And those of y'all know who you are, and we're not going to go in there. We're not going to mention names. We will mention your name when we ask a question. We're trying to be fair here to everybody. Anyway, how to write ads. This is also by Rick Caldwell.
Write ads. At this point, I mean, if you're going to be writing ads, that's way ahead of the game. And the reason why I say that is your first project that I'm giving you at this point has nothing to do with writing ads, but does have to do with writing content. But I'm going to show you how you can actually go online and obtain that content for free, make a few modifications to it, and then go ahead and get it out there as necessary, as you need it for this particular project. Okay. But as far as writing a bunch of ads and everything else, I'll tell you what, this is real. If you're not a writer, don't get into writing ads, because you're not writing. Why would you write an ad when the CPA network is providing everything done for you?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, look at it this way. If I put something on a subdomain and I direct them directly to the CPA offer, I'm going right to their website. I don't even need a website at that point. People are going to look at that glowing, beautiful website that they put up, that they spent all these years testing in some respects. And actually, when you go there, the majority of people are going to end up opting in, and then submitting an email, zip code, or just a zip code. Okay. And there's other offers too, where people submit credit cards, where they submit profile information, which are much, much harder to convert. I'm trying to get you to those things that are so much easier to convert just with an email and a zip code, or just with a zip code. Okay, it's going to make it so much easier for you. If you start getting really overcomplicated as far as you're running these ads and everything, or running these offers, what's going to end up happening is you're going to push yourself out. A lot of these people that are out there doing this are not running it like that. They're not running the more overcomplicated one. Sure, somebody's making, like in this one, $80-something, to drive an individual to make a purchase. Well, this is not purchasing. This is CPA, click for action. People click, they take an action, you get paid. That's the way it works.
Can I add this to that? Think about it, what he just said. Think about this for just a moment. This is crystal clear. It ought to be super simple. They are paying copywriters tens of thousands of dollars, possibly six figures, for some of the copy that's written for these CPA offers. These guys are a retainer to do this, okay? They're not some fly-by-night in a country where they can barely speak the English language. No, these are professionals that for years and years and years have been trained just in one thing, to get you to buy copyright. They don't do video marketing. They don't do any of the rest of this. They're not out putting all this together. They're a lot smarter than me and you are. I'm not talking about Joe, but the rest of y'all and me on how to write ads. So why do it? Why make it complicated? Just do what Joe tells you to do.
My God, I mean, and you're right, Rick, because these people have programmers that they give thousands of dollars to design these sites, use certain definite, complicated scripting language.
Yeah.
And not just a WordPress plugin either.
Yeah.
But complicated scripting language, among other things. I mean, HTML, XHTML. I mean, just coding that some of the stuff you've never even heard of.
It's so good, it's scary. Is that fair to say, Joe? It's so good, the sales funnel's scary. It makes you want to reach out They know how to get in your pocket.
And put it this way, they don't. they just don't pay you because they're not going to get anything from it. They know, I mean, they're going to make a ton of money from this,
Yeah.
for your efforts. And as far as I'm concerned, they pay me for doing very little, and driving it there and getting those conversions. I mean, and that's what I love about it.
Excellent,
A
excellent
lot of
way.
these people have to realize, that's the way it's going to work.
Yeah. Excellent, excellent, excellent question there. Excellent answer. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Landing page design ideas from Rick Caldwell again.
Landing page design. What does he mean? Landing page design.
Again, just go to the offers that he's talking about. I mean, I don't know how else to do that. You're making it harder. And again, Rick, that's just the way it is.
Rick. You don't do the landing pages. They do the landing pages.
Yeah, we just
Okay?
covered that. Let's move on.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, move on. Yeah. All right, Anthony Williams, series of autoresponders to say an email.
We're not doing emails here.
Well, okay. Well, there was a question. We said we'd answer him. That's
Yeah,
we're moving
let
on.
me say this, Rick. With email marketing, you don't want to get involved in email marketing because a lot of people get barred from CPA networks doing email marketing, buying these lists and everything else, which are bogus lists, and you end up buying a list of 100,000 people, and believe me, they've been run through the email mill already. So you're buying something that's totally worthless, and you're going to go out there, maybe you get a couple of hits, but I'll tell you what, you're dealing with a targeted market. You have specific niches, certain areas that you want to fall into, and those are the people who you end up sending your offers to. All right. And if you want to sit down and do email, then these CPA networks are looking for double opt-ins. And if they catch you not doing that, they're going to shut you down right
Quick.
Talk about it.
Yeah. In a New York minute. He's right.
Yeah.
Thank you. Rick Caldwell again. Hey, Rick, he's got a lot of questions. I'm glad that he answered the questions when we were doing there. I do appreciate the input.
Great. Yeah.
Definition of the promotion methods, restrictions / methods.
Restrictions for
probably what you just answered already.
And CPA, I'll tell you what, CPA, you're talking about what you can do, what you can't do. Maybe that's what you're after. Okay, what you can do and can't do is clearly spelled out in your CPA network. The networks sit down and they create these elaborate lists called their rules and their regulations. And what they do is state specifically what you can do and what you can't do. And usually when you pull up an offer, the offer itself will indicate where you can advertise it on, where you can't advertise it on. Like, for instance, Max Bounty, I'll give you an example of that because a lot of people are able to get a Max Bounty a lot easier. And what happens is they're going to tell you, a lot of people try to advertise Craigslist, and a lot of times they'll say, no Craigslist, no Craigslist, no Craigslist. And I hear that so many times. So pretty much they don't want a majority of your CPA, motors publishers, going to a Craigslist to do it because there's too many problems with Craigslist. They've run into it in the past, so they banned it.
So just don't do it. How's that sound?
In some cases you can, but yeah, I mean, if you do it, the problem with that is you could risk losing your account in that respect. Okay, but the thing is read specifically. He wants to know about the restrictions. So read everything in that particular offer and what your CPA network allows and disallows, and you'll be just fine.
Excellent point. Are we going to be doing any same gentleman? Are we going to be doing any mobile targeting / mobile resources too?
Mobile targeting. In a lot of cases, if you're talking about mobile networking and everything else, you have a lot of CPA networks deal with mobile apps that you can actually promote to people in that area. And if you wish to do that, great, go for it. I mean, but that's something that's going to be well beyond that. Say way in the future. If you're dealing with something like that. Right now, you want to get started with those things that are going to convert right away, things that are not very complex. And look at it this way: why deal with the mobile app in one respect? Because all these websites, the majority of these websites that are based on your CPA offers are mobile ready already. So direct them to there, and you don't even have to deal with that.
Yeah.
It's going to just fall right in your lap, and you're going to be able to do whatever you need to do. So why get involved in the complexities of it as far as promoting? Because I'll tell you what, in CPA, mobile is not really big at all. I mean, it's people making money with the apps. Yeah, making really good money with the apps. I've done it through Singapore. And I'll tell you what, if you want to go ahead and do that where they're downloading something and you get paid for it right away, but that's done in a wholly separate way, okay, and how you get it to them. and how you promote it and everything else. And we're going to be discussing that too, because that's very complicated. If I just throw it at you right now, I need to break it down step by step by step.
Excellent point. Mark Holgren saying social avenues to use and to avoid: Facebook, YouTube, Plenty of Fish, others.
I don't avoid any social network unless it has a negative connotation based on a social network from the CPA networks. Okay, a lot of your CPA networks, and if you get really, as far as you get to know your CPA manager, they're going to let you know what they frown on, or what they allow, or where they've had their bad experience. Remember, you guys have to remember something here. Every CPA network has different types of rules and regulations. And they've enacted those rules and regulations because they've been involved in this business for a lot of years and dealt with just about everything and anything. And certain ones allow certain things, others don't allow certain things. So you have to read those rules and regulations very specifically to know what they allow and what they don't allow. And if you have any questions, of course you can come back to me and ask me. But also, you have an affiliate manager that you can go to ask, and they're going to go ahead and break it down as to, no, we allow that, we disallow it, or this is a good thing or a bad thing, because every CPA network has their own offers. And some you'll see, duplicate offers on all your CPA networks. And I love it because you can actually request, there's different prices that you can actually push out. We'll just go through that as well. But it's going to take time to show you exactly what it is, and I'll end up showing you exactly step by step how to do that as well. There's a lot of things here. I don't want to hit you with a whole bunch of information at first, because what you do is you get what's called information overload. I think a gentleman here spoke about that.
Yeah, Ray was excellent. He got it. He's right on the money, actually.
Yeah,
all right, Rick's got.
So many people buy Rossells and sit on them and never do anything because they're overloaded with a bunch of information. Never have anybody ask at the end, and you have an opportunity where you can. So this is going to be totally different.
All right, here's another question from Rick. Type of offers to avoid. What kinds work best?
That's a good one. All right, type of offers to avoid. Avoid those offers, and I'll tell you the best offers to avoid. And those are the ones where you're testing them and you're putting it out there, and you're finding out that when other people are going to those offers, it pops up threat network or threat.
I learned the hard way.
Enter. Yeah, and if you do that, those are the ones you avoid. How do you avoid it? See, the problem with that is you have all these CPA networks, and what they do is they have these advertisers. Certain ones like PureFly, they allow certain advertisers to come in because they're paying a lot of money. Okay, and what they do is they come up with all this difficult scripting language and everything else that they're testing in a lot of respects. So what happens is when they run it through the CPA office, you run it through there, and it goes to the site, and it's determined to be a threat site by some antivirus like McAfee, Norton, or whatever the case may be, and it's going to block them right at the top. And that's another thing what we're going to do here is that's a good thing for our CPA Skype room here, because I want everybody to start working with each other when you're running your offers. So say for instance, if I'm running an offer and the offer is dealing with something in regards to, I'll just throw an example at you, and it offers like iPad 3 or whatever the case may be in that regard. What happens is if I run it through PureFly and one of those individuals are coming in and they're running on their website certain scripting language and they shut them down, and it just closes down altogether, and it closes down altogether, then what's going to end up happening here is, you're not going to get there. You're not going to get there. You're not going to make a dime. I had a person that told me, man, Joe, I've been running this stuff for a whole week now, and nothing happened. Well, I took a look at it, and the first thing I see is block, thread site, and I said, that's the reason why you haven't made a penny, because you chose that offer. You have to check, you have to test all the time, and you have to run them through. Yeah, and you have to run their offers through, and you have to make sure they work. Everybody in our CPA Skype room, I want them to work together so they can help you test your offer.
And there's no competition here. Don't be worried about somebody stealing your idea or any of that. You shouldn't be competition with each other, because there's so much money out.
Right. Try different browsers. Certain browsers are going to allow one thing, other browsers are going to allow another thing.
What he just said right there, case in point, I'm on a Mac most of the time. I take it for granted, right? And I go right through my websites. Everything was working fine on my side. Joshua and Joe both had told me, no, man, it doesn't work. Go to a PC. Sure enough, I went to a PC, my wife's boom, threat, virus, you know, all this warning, go away. I never saw that once on my Mac. So bear that in mind. Okay.
Exactly.
All right, some more questions here.
Rick, I want to before I go on further, I'm gonna take about 5 minutes real quick.
Okay.
So,
Well, let me end the video then.
right back to you.
Yeah, all right.
And then we'll jump right back in there.
All right.